you might look at my baby and say, oh, she's fine, she looks great, you don't need to worry about her development, anything like that. And that's irrelevant to what movement lesson offers any child. You know, I do worry about her constipation. I mean, finally she pooped today after a week, and it was pretty rancid and like just really gross, and that concerns me. And maybe for her it may not be such a big deal. It could be a big deal. It's different for every child as far as what constipation can do to rotational movements. Anything could compromise a child's rotational movements. Something as simple as constipation, a fall, something, you know, being hospitalized, it's all these things that can interrupt the rotational movement. So in her case, like, yeah, people would think constipation's not a big deal, but from what I know and what movement lesson teaches is that even the smallest thing can affect a child's movement. And so this evening I've worked with her and I've assessed her, and you know, she's only 2 months old, so we're not quite into rolling over yet or things like that. But continually I find that she needs support here on the left side of her back. Right here in the back of her head gets kind of heavy, and kind of have a hard time getting midline crossing here. And I think that's that occipital lobe. Really doesn't matter the anatomy, but anyway, I do know she gets a little heavy there. And then her right arm is tight, and so I can go in and just support her in her movement, support her in her milestone development, because all those things can create deviations for any individual child. Okay, so if you're working on a milestone and you want rolling over, or you want walking, or you want crawling, okay, there's not necessarily a one solution fits all. It could be the pelvis, it could be a heavy head, it could be a stuck spine, it could be a foot. I mean, it really movement lesson really allows you to start problem solving and start really looking at your child's system as a whole and finding solutions for creating more movement for your child. And one thing is, you're doing movement lesson, you know, she's just being fussy here and there, but because I've done the assessment, I know exactly where I want to work. So I'm trying to position her in ways that I can either work her on her spine, or if she'll be happy right here, I can come in here and work a little bit on her wrist, just be really gentle and let her look around and do things. But you know, that's one of the things when you're working with your child is, what exactly do I work on? And you know, you doing the newborn movement assessment and also doing the rotational movement tracker chart allows you to really start seeing consistent patterns in your child, but also helps you know exactly what you need to work on. Say if you're doing the rolling over course and you're just like, oh, my kid just isn't quite getting it. You know, that chart and the newborn movement assessment helps you identify where a part of the body may be stuck and might be causing the lack of progression that you want to see. And so I always invite you to join a support program, okay? Start learning how to utilize the newborn movement assessment so that you can know exactly where you need to work on your child. And as you start learning movement lesson and going through the segment trainings, you start learning how the foundations of these rotational movements in the spine, the pelvis, the elbow, the wrist, how all these things, all these body parts need to be able to perform any given milestone. And so we work on the body as a whole, and we work on individual parts, but the ultimate goal is that your child can perform functional movements, and that can mean milestone performance, or it just means more independent abilities for your child and what their body is capable of. So the link for the support programs is in the description, and always know that even 5 minutes makes a difference, and with movement lesson, you're turning impossibilities to possibilities for your child. Thanks, guys.